Hey everyone, this is Daniel Gracie, G2 Comics. We're here doing a little bit of an ink washing tutorial. Um, Sometimes you'll get some ink sent over to you, and the way that they're scanned is not the best quality, not to say that this is bad, but you'll see some of the pencil lines and that kind of thing, and sometimes it's unavoidable. You got the scan mark here where you had to actually piece the two pages together, which is great because that's how you scan a bigger page, is you have to piece them both together. So you're going to try to work around this, and I'll kind of show you how we do it really easily and make the lines crisp. Now, if you go back and you switch this to a bitmap, you're going to get all the pencil lines in there, so you don't want that at all. The only way to do this is to kind of go back and forth through Illustrator and do what I call ink washing. So right now I've got my image, it's a JPEG that was sent over to me. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to darken it up so that the Illustrator program can pick it up. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Levels, and I'm going to take it to about right where the spike is, right here, maybe a little outside the spike, until I just see it's nice and black. Now, the gray areas here are still gray, so that's good, but all I want is like the true black marks here. You might want to go a little further in. Don't go too much because you're going to start getting really muddy. I like to go, like I said, around a little outside of the spike. I don't want to say a certain number because it might be different for you. So I'm pretty much satisfied with the way this is looking right now, so I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to save it. You want to save it as a JPEG or something small so you can open it up in Illustrator without using too much memory and that kind of thing. So I'm going to save as, first page scaled. Yes, 10 is fine, it's only 3 megabytes, so. Okay, so now it's saved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Illustrator. And I'm going to open that file. And here's my file. So I've got it right here. I'm not worried about size or anything like that because no matter what I do to this, size it up, scale it down, I can have this thing at 5 inches. It doesn't really matter. When I take it back into Photoshop and switch it to a bitmap, it's all going to look the same. So right now I've got it about the same height as I want it. You don't want to go too drastic, but it doesn't really matter if you're off by a few halves of an inch or that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is select my image. I just hit A, and that brings up the arrow or the direct selection tool, and I select the whole thing. I'm just going to go up here to live trace, and what it's going to do is it's going to make a vector image out of what I have right now. So the size is pretty small. It's saying it's going to proceed slowly. That's fine. And now I've got a trace. So one important thing to do is get a side by side, because if you're doing this and you don't have any other way to prevent or to get rid of these pencil lines before you scan it in, you're going to have to make sure that you go back and you have everything perfect, just the way it's supposed to look from the inker. Because the last thing you want to do is mess up an inker's lines. That's last thing you want to worry about. So right now, I'm missing some stuff in the eyes. I've got a little more black than I need. You can see the pencil lines right here, especially like on this side right there. So I'm going to obviously take my threshold down to about 75. This one may be different for you as well, but I think this is where it'll work pretty good. So let's see what happens. Okay, perfect. So I've got everything down. There's still maybe a few stray pencil lines here and there. I can get rid of those later on, but what I want to do is I want to do another side-by-side comparison. Now, what I think the inker is going for is what should be there. Now, with this, some of the minor detail is going to get lost. I can go back in and edit this out later on, but it looks pretty nice. I mean, I like how the ink lines, the line weight is actually represented even better in here because of the live trace, because it's removing all the pencil lines and that kind of thing. So I think I'm pretty much well set on what the inker was looking for. If you have any doubts, always send this file back to the inker and make sure that he's okay with it. He or she is okay with it. But for right now, what I'm looking at, I think it's something that I can easily fix if they're not satisfied, or just continue working with it they are. So once I have this, I will go back and make sure that everything's okay. I don't have any stray lines anywhere. Looks pretty good, so I'm just going to save it. as an AI file. Okay. Don't really matter what kind of options that you have. So once you've saved everything, just close out of Illustrator altogether. Go back into Photoshop. You can close your image out if you'd like. I started working on one earlier here. Then open. You're going to open your Illustrator file. Make sure that everything is correct. It looks like it's all good here. RGB color, like I said, for print. CMYK is for print. But it doesn't matter right now because we're just going to set everything up and get everything back ready to be printed. So this kind of goes back into my setup tutorial that I had earlier on. So you can take a look at that and see how you set everything up after I get finished with this video. This is just the ink washing phase that I go through right now. So I have everything here. I can manipulate the black lines once I've done my setup and that kind of thing. I think I'm pretty much ready to set it all up for color, do all my sizing, setting it up for color, do all my sizing and everything like that. We're pretty much back to where we want to be, and it's a lot more crisp. And like I said, if there's anything that I need to add, I can do it by hand on the stylus through the black lines later on, add a few lines here and there. But this should get you right where you want for color, and it looks really, really nice right now without any of the pencil lines on there. So that's it. Check out the comic book coloring tutorial starting with part 1, the setup after this, and you'll get straight to coloring. Thanks.